We have the reading and approval of the minutes from August 23rd and September 4th. Is there any issues or questions? I entertain a motion for that.
Motion to approve minutes for August 23rd and September 4th. and
Motion.
suspend the-
Motion by Hack,
Second.
second by Wolf. Discussion. All in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Thank you. Approve the agenda. Any other additions or changes to the agenda? Nothing changed on here, Monty, from earlier? Okay, all right.
Make a motion, we accept the agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Pillar,
Second.
second by Hack. Discussion. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. 4A, 2016 street project special assessments. Right, come on up, sir.
I was asked just to give a brief introduction. Of course, the hearing isn't until October 2nd, but just so that you guys are informed, so you can answer small questions. If anybody does have a serious question about lot size or costs as they look, and we have had one come up that their lot was listed incorrectly. It's listed incorrectly with the county, wasn't found until today. So that will be corrected and fixed. But if you have any of those questions, remind them to either talk to Shannon or they can give me a call or come to the hearing. So generally, the biggest things are the assessment is done on 75% of frontage and 25% is done on property. Take any certain street and the blocks that surround that street, that service that street, are considered in that zone. So if you have a street, you have the frontage, the backside is considered property of that block. And the reason we have to do that is you have corner lots, you have odd size lots, you have some lots that have frontage, but the back half of that lot doesn't have frontage. It's considered alley service or whatever, or the lot right next to it on that block will go all the way through the whole block. So to be fair, everybody pays property portion on the street that's been serviced. When it comes to the property, the 25% is split by total property in that area. And that also the corner lots. If you have a corner lot, your primary side, your legal address side, is considered your primary side. Your secondary side, if that's involved in a frontage area, will pay at 50%. And what you'll find is most lots are longer than they are wide. So that 50% ends up being almost a full share. But at least they've got extra, ability to reach their lot, and they do have frontage. We just don't consider it 200%.
Mark, fill in for Pat.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem.
So if anybody asks for corner lots, it's 50% of that is considered frontage if they're on that serviced street. Then the other 50% of that frontage then gets moved to the area split. So the entire area that gets serviced by that helps pay that 50%,
Which would be the square footage.
which is square footage. Those are the biggest things. And we basically developed the rules. We have 12 different spreadsheets that analyze each zone. The engineers were able to split costs in certain areas of the streets. They gave us numbered areas. We went with them. The only difference that went citywide is the frontage road over on Highway Drive. That is essentially a frontage road. You have you have lots that are owned on one side, the other side is frontage. 50% of that was attributed to the city. 50% of the commerce parking lot goes out to the frontage, goes out to that area. 50% of the frontage of that commerce parking lot was attributed to the citywide portion. The other 50% was distributed to the businesses that directly are attached to that. The only other thing that went citywide was the senior citizen center that is owned by the community. It's currently leased to the senior citizen center for $1 for 100 years, I believe it was. So that is considered a benefit to the entire city, something that every property in town gains a small saleable advantage of having a decent community property. So that was
Remind us about churches.
churches are same as any other property.
Yeah.
Churches and businesses, nobody was separated out. The only zones or properties that were removed from the list given to us was a frontage road is still listed as a property. We have several drainage ditches that are still listed as properties. Those were removed. Otherwise, I think in essence, there was one other property that was shortened, we went in there physically, that is Harvest Estates back on the backside. When they joined the city, they had to take the whole parcel. And that's currently listed as property of Hazen, of the city then. So there's like 1 million+ square feet over there. Well, a lot of it is certified that it'd be flood zone, it's not buildable, but yet when it's listed as their parcel, they've got that entire, I mean, it's half the town, it's as big as half the town probably. We, by map, measured out the usable area, and that's what we knocked that unit down to. It seems fair. It's still a bit more than most properties in town, but it's not. It ends up being totally excessive if you make a pay for the whole parcel.
So other than the senior citizen center, what else did you say was citywide?
The Commerce parking lot.
Okay.
And then the frontage road on Highway Drive.
And Greg, remind us who else is on the committee other than you?
It is Renee Snyder and
Doug Rothy?
Questions for Greg? All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.
And on October 2nd, is that in here?
Yeah, that'll be it.
And
Yeah.
5 o'clock? What time?
No, I believe it's at 7.
Thank you. All right. 4B,
Jerry,
yes.
there were a couple of the resolutions that I sent out to you as far as directing the assessment for that project, and hope you had a chance to look at them.
Yep. So that's the resolution approving engineer's report.
No. Directing the assessment for the 2016 project, and then the notice to the special assessment committee to do their work, which they've done.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion to approve.
Somehow they just got missed in the processing.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Wolf.
Second.
Second by Stern. Discussion. Roll call.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Heller.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yep. All right. Back to 4B, 2018 street project engineers report and resolutions. Mark? Come on up.
With the engineer's report, we had submitted that, I guess about a week or so ago. So I guess we just need approval of that report.
And that would be their resolution I sent you.
Anybody have questions before? Okay, that's right here.
Make a motion, we accept the engineer's report for the street and storm sewer improvements as presented.
Motion by Pillar to accept,
Second.
second by Hack. Discussion. Roll call.
Pillar.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion carried.
And that resolution will direct them to prepare the plans and specifications.
Okay, Mark?
Okay, and then the other item that we have, just an hour or so ago, I don't know if you, well, I guess one could cut that off. We did solicit bids for the geotechnical work on this project. We got 5 responses. It was everything that we had requested was from 5 firms. We summarized that information for you on this sheet here. Shows the cost that each firm submitted. And we had, there was a pretty good spread there in terms of the costs, and so we wanted to make sure we were comparing apples and apples, so that's why we did the rest of this sheet. But probably, as far as you're interested, is just the cost. And so NTI was the low bidder there. They came in at $8,250. And after talking with these folks and making sure we were getting everything that we were looking for, going back and forth, we are asking your approval to give it to NTI to do the geotechnical work.
So let me ask you, Mark, so 10-foot borings, they plan on doing 11 of those, is that
Correct.
what I'm reading, then 11 5-foot borings?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have a reason why they're half price of 2 of these and quite a bit lower than the other?
You know, that's what we
Too good.
struggled with,
Yeah.
is going through here to see, we were sure that they had missed something. And, you know, their unit prices were a lot better. I think one of these, I believe it was Terracon, had, you know, lodging and meals put into that, you know, coming from out of town, and they'd have to stay overnight, so, it wasn't, the way these guys prepared their proposals, it wasn't easy to just look and say, boom, 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 here's the differences, because they worded things differently, and, but like I say, we did check with NTI, we talked to them a couple of times today, to make sure we understood what their proposal was, make sure that it covered everything that we were asking for, and so.
Okay.
They're low bid.
Quite a bit lower, yeah. Okay, so we need to approve this to direct you guys to be able to offer the.
Well, the way this is set up, and you can direct me if you want it differently, but this is, the proposal is addressed to the city. So if you give approval, I don't know if Monty can sign it, or if, okay.
Okay. Then if this is to us, then we just approve it and we'll direct them then. Okay, any questions for Mark on this? I know we talked at length about this 2 weeks ago or,
Yeah, 2-3 weeks.
yeah. I don't see why we would offer it to NTI. So then we would need a motion to move forward with that.
So moved.
Motion by Hack.
Second.
Second by Stern. Discussions, questions? Casey?
So then all these,
22, I guess, like borings. You know, is where at, or I mean, is like every one of the streets gonna get one boring?
No,
Or is it
well-
gonna be just in areas that are,
Just in particular areas. When we had solicited these, we included a city map and basically showed, you know, where we wanted those boards to be taken. Now, those were approximate locations. When it comes time, we'll actually go out and spray paint or whatever, where we want those to be taken. We thought that 22 was sufficient to get a pretty good idea of what's going on.
so then on the spacing on these, I mean, like what's the narrowest spacing that you're gonna have on these borings? You know, like,
Between the borders?
you could be like 100 feet, like 200 feet, or what's it?
Oh, well, I mean, when you see it on a map, the 22, it doesn't look like a lot.
No.
I mean, when you spread that out citywide,
Yeah.
you know, there's gonna be some variation there, but, the thing with geotechnical borings is, you know, you could take one right here and you can say, okay, this is kind of representative for what's going on in the area, but the reality is you could take one 5 feet over and find something completely different. So you're never gonna know totally what's going on, but it's gonna give you a much better idea. So, so rather than go crazy and have them punch, you know, 200-300 holes or whatever, I mean, we try to be reasonable with that and say, okay, let's hit these bad spots. I mean, that's where we concentrated, was the areas where we had the streets rated as like 2s and 3s, where we're talking about, you know, some heavier type work there as opposed to just a chip seal and really, who cares about that?
Mhm.
So, so we tried to focus it in the areas that were in the worst condition.
Any other questions? Brian? Okay, we have a motion and a second. More discussion? Roll call.
Hack,
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Pillar.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion passed. You have an original, or do you use Monty?
They were all emailed, so I can just.
Yeah. And so I guess the only other thing I have then is that with this, when we had met, whenever that was, a few weeks ago, to talk about the project, we had indicated having preliminary plans by like first meeting in October, finals first week in November. This is gonna push that back a little bit. I think they said it's either 4 or 5 weeks until they've completed their work. So rather than push that and rush that and have these plans without the geotech, it looks like more realistically, we would have a preliminary the first meeting in November, and then the finals December. And then I'm not sure exactly with the holidays how it'll work out, but we're still looking at bidding this thing. Could either still be like mid-December if we can get it ahead of the holidays, or mid-January if we want to get the contractors to that. So we just don't want to bid it over the holidays because then they're not quite as focused.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have two, that's not, 5A, we have a free hall, request for the free hall rent for St. Paul's Church. And they using kitchen, Monty, I didn't pull that one up.
Yeah, they would need the kitchen, they're doing their fundraiser breakfast, so
Okay.
it would be subject to the kitchen fee, $50.
Okay, all right.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Wolf,
Second.
second by Pillar. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And local permit for Hazen High School.
Motion approved.
Motion by Hack,
Second.
second by Stern. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried, thank you. 5C, Kelly Schneid sewer repair costs. All right, so,
Talk about that.
go ahead, please do, Casey.
Oh, Kelly's not here, but,
It's recorded.
all right, there it is, okay, okay. Yeah, I think about like 3 or 4, like years ago, I think he was, building a fence, bored some holes. And the sewer main runs like down the center of his lot, it's not like in the other street, and, I guess the sewer main at that time, this wasn't marked at all, so they bored into the sewer main, and at that time, the sewer main was then I guess repaired. As much as I know, yes, the city that like paid for that, paid on that repair on the main then. So I mean, I would think that it was probably deemed, I guess, not his fault then. So now, this last June here, he's experiencing some sewer backup, I guess in the garage, and I guess when I come to find out, there's like a plastic sewer cover that was, I guess, wedged in the main, causing a backup. And the sewer covers, for like an RV or a camper type sewer dump, and so then I guess the sewer main was then dug up and the pieces removed. I know there's I guess some ideas about why it got blocked, or what it actually caused, I guess, the backup, but as a sewer main, I guess, and our I guess responsibility. But I know I asked Kelly, bringing a itemized estimate, repairs, and I see that, there's just a quote from, I guess, Pride, I guess, on just a total. I didn't see the kind of itemization on there. But, so I mean,
It's pretty bad, it's pretty bad.
yeah,
It's for some concrete repair, for basically I had to cut, a section of the cement that was next to that sewer main, since they had to drive over. They had to, basically when they drove over, with the excavator, it buckled part of the cement pad where basically my gate for my fence is. And then also some of the fence was damaged in the process of getting it fixed. And then I had to fill in topsoil and all that stuff and plant new grass on that. I actually haven't planted new grass yet. I was kind of waiting, but, and I had Tim come over and do an estimate for what he thought it would cost to repair everything. And that's what the estimate is based on. I was hoping we'd be a little bit more specific on the details, but you did get the latest one, concrete curbing, install new posts for fence, landscape, and seed yard. Is that what's up there?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, and that's what he got me, as far as what it was gonna cost to repair everything.
you know, I guess I'd like to see more of a itemized, quote from Tim, but
Is there any way, I guess I can have them call, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it from him or not.
Okay.
I stopped by his house and got this from him on Friday evening.
oh, yeah,
This is pretty standard, Tim.
It's time's precious, and I don't know if I'm gonna get, you know, if I'm gonna get time with him again anytime soon.
yeah,
Trying to just move it.
Yeah.
So,
No, Kelly, I thought this was fixed before and it was never addressed originally properly, you're saying, or?
no, well, I think there was some discussion on when this happened in June, there was some discussion by Ryan and I on what actually caused the backup. And, you know, they did repair it 3 or 4 years ago when that happened, when the.
Is that when you're boring your footings in, or your?
Yeah, and the sewer line wasn't marked. The water line was marked, the sewer line wasn't marked. And we were that was kind of right after I put that house on there. Well, anyway, Tim came and dug it up, and, you know, none of my garage wasn't there, and it was not really a big deal then, because it was pretty much wide open. And he dug it up and replaced a piece of pipe in there and filled it back in and called it good. Well, while they were discovering this problem, in June here, they did find that there was still one spot further back in the pipe that had a little puncture on the top. But the problem was found that there was about a half of a piece of 4-inch pipe cap that was wedged just right. Basically, there was an old, what do you call it, clean out valve that came up, and then underneath where the Y is, where the main and the clean out came together, there was a piece of valve cap wedged in there just right to basically block it up. And caused my garage my garage is fine. Luckily, my wife was home, but there was sewer backup. We ended up, you know, squeegeeing, got some pumps and everything. So luckily there was no damage there. But I guess they kind of tie into each other a little bit, because the issue was in the same area that happened.
Okay, what do you recommend, Casey?
I move that we approve the $1,000 repairs.
Okay, we have a motion by Stern,
Second it.
second by Pillar, discussion.
So that on this $1,000, that's then gonna cover all the repairs and like any other like damages that were done.
Yes. Yep. Like I said, nothing happened in the garage. We were fortunate. If nobody would have been home, it would have been.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's planned.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Omenauer.
Motion carried.
Are you guys planning on getting a release for future claims on this
On this particular spot,
particular set of repairs? If we're paying $1,000, I don't know if it's entirely to you guys. It's probably not a bad practice.
that's not, yeah, absolutely, we can write something up, or we have, what's that?
You would have to write something.
I was gonna say after, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right. Down to reports, water sewer. Oh, building permit. Building permit and variance for Ross Sargent. Shannon, come on up.
It's just simple, he's building a bigger garage.
Yep.
and, it's, put it on the same footprint as the old one, it just happened to be a little close to where the old one was, must have had a variance way back when, I don't know how he managed to get there in the first place, but.
Mhm.
He had his contractors coming, so he needed it yesterday, you know how that is, and,
So he didn't go any closer to the street than he was
no,
already?
he just
Okay.
right where the old one was, yeah, just
Okay.
made it a little farther into the yard.
Okay, further south, okay.
Yep.
Alright. Discussion, questions?
Because it's going right back in the same place that it was before, I guess I'm comfortable with approving it. So as such, I'd make a motion that we accept the variance as presented.
Motion by Pillar to accept the variance.
Second.
Second by Hack. Discussion. Roll call.
Pillar.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. Alright, sorry, now we'll go down to reports. 8B, water sewer.
Last meeting was brought up about a storm, sewer, or drain or cover, it was broke.
Oh, yeah, on third.
You know, and Ms. Ron was just telling me, you know, I guess in order to, you know, to just repair that, Hazen Welding's gonna have to make up a new cover and then that area of curb is gonna have to be redone, so. But,
If we get the whole new top, if free makes it, it's just gonna be something that.
oh,
That's right.
okay, just gonna fit right, okay,
Okay, then we don't have to dig that thing up.
okay, all right, okay, I misunderstood.
And I'm assuming the fabricating of a new cover is a whole lot cheaper than going around the other path, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then I know a while ago, you know, I guess at lift station one of the pumps that failed there. And that pump's currently at the shop and needs I guess rewinding a bunch of other, you know, standard bearings of pumps and with that, I moved to approve the repair of that pump for $3,260.
What's the horsepower on that?
Doesn't say, but it's probably about 5.
Okay, motion by Stern to repair the pump.
Second.
Second by Hack, discussion. Down at the water garage, or they got other pumps down there too, and motors. We don't have anything that's usable or.
That size is my understanding.
Oh, Ron, is there like lift station one, like all by itself in the pump size or not? Is that
I'm not really sure if you could.
I think lift station one's the biggest one we got.
Seems to me that's the
Yeah.
best one.
Bounds needs to be full capacity. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Stern.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Pillar.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion passed.
Anything else this time?
Anything else? Great, thank you, Casey. Streets, cemetery,
Yeah, a couple things. I don't know if you noticed our little loop at the cemetery that we dug the road or the sod out. We went in there and put crushed concrete pavement. Looks good, I think with the rain it'll settle nice. Get a chance to go up there, take a peek at it.
looks really good.
And I don't know, several meetings ago, we brought up that our sand spreader, the metal one, was beyond repair. And we got a quote from Swanston for, 1 unit FOB to Hazen, $6,000 plus the applicable freight. And that included everything, and the motor. And the price is good through September, so I move that we purchase this, so we have it, in case the price does go up higher, for $6,000 plus that applicable freight.
Usually it doesn't go down.
What did we do when we discussed before? We just discussed it and tabled it?
Oh, we talked about other options too.
Yeah, and I got
Oh, yeah, yeah.
another one, and it was more, close to $800 more.
Okay.
From another company, so,
That time of year is right around the corner.
yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, we have a motion by Hack,
I'll second it.
second by Pillar. Discussion. Casey?
So this is gonna be like a steel, like body, and then it's gonna be like plastic line.
It's one 8-foot flink FM stainless steel hopper, just like the other one I said. So it's not steel anymore.
It'll be bigger than the other stainless steel, about the size of that yellow one that we have.
Yeah, cause that stainless, what is that stainless about? It's a little bit smaller.
It's a little bit smaller, I don't know the capacity.
I know when I looked at them quite a while ago, that stainless one was definitely holding up. A lot better than the steel ones.
And what do we do with the old one? Scrap it?
Once you get to there's a motor on it, but, if we got some use for that motor, according to this motor's worth about $500, and it's, what is that, 7, 8 years old? So I don't know. It would be,
I don't know, would it
want
be
to put it
worth,
up for sale someplace, or?
I was just gonna say, would it be worth advertising and trying to get a little for it? I mean,
It's not ruined, it's, you know.
No,
it's
no,
what we
it's
just use it, so. We've never really done very well with putting things like that up for bid or sale. But I guess we don't want it sitting around.
Well, like I said, the rest of it's probably basically junk.
Mhm.
You know, if we could get something for the motor.
Okay.
I mean, even $100 is better than just.
What size, how many horse is that?
This one here on the new one is 10.5 horse rigs.
Trying to be about the same close to it.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Hack,
I,
Pillar. Aye. Stern.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Over.
Aye. Motion carried.
and then the second thing I got is we've got our new used dump truck over at Mandate Machinery, trying to get it DOT approved, and everyone's got a copy of the estimate. I talked to Rod about that third axle's got duals on either side, and I know one tire on each side is just not good. I just told him since it's there, get an estimate on them removing it. And then they ran into some other, of course, the DOT inspection is $110 a second. Listing there on that bid. And then they ran into the hoist, the labor and the cost. But from talking with Ron and Dave, a lot of this we can do on our own. So I guess I move to get these things taken care of. I don't know if I need a motion on that. The city guys to take care of the fade and slaking on the air gate lock cylinder, the actual lift cylinder. I would go with brand new. And what did they say on the third axle? I mean, is that, do you guys ever think that we're gonna need that, or?
No, I don't think so. Anything that we haul that's that heavy would be, we had to go get some hot mix. If we put that plastic liner in, we couldn't haul hot mix with it anyway.
Right.
It'd be basically around town, I don't see where we need that extra axle.
And if we're using heavily snow removal, cutting sharp corners and stuff, that is just in the way anyhow.
Yeah, right, I mean, it'd be up, and
Yeah.
it's up all the time, I have it.
But you guys can take it off to where it won't get approved, okay? So, yeah, those three things, the city workers take care of that, the new lift cylinder, and the leak on the tailgate. And then, I would say take it back over there to do the final inspection for the $110. Just so we get at least one truck to start, to get DOT approved, so we can get like a few more guys with license, CDL license.
So basically your motion is to purchase the new hoist
Yeah, the
and
hoist,
fittings.
I mean,
Good.
fittings and stuff, I think the cost is gonna be quite a bit lower.
Alright,
And removing the third axle.
and that can be just
Do we
brought
need
into
a motion
normal
to,
maintenance.
uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you need any motion on
Okay.
that.
So anytime they repair any vehicles or anything like that over at the shop, we gotta do this?
$1,000.
Okay, $1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Alright.
Okay, we have a motion by Hack.
Second.
Second by Wolf. Discussion. Roll call.
Hack,
I,
Wolf,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. Jason?
the only other thing I got, it looks nice out there where they crushed. It finally looks clean up.
Yeah.
And we got a plethora of pavement and concrete mixture
Yeah.
out there.
Get a number for the fence.
Not yet, usually send an email.
Oh, one other thing I do have, Ron, we get together with Tim on that, over there by Ann Chase with that pavement that we approved last meeting. Taking the
Oh,
pavement out and grade
Yeah, I
capacity.
talked to Tim Shores, and when, he gets ready, he'll give us a date notice, and we'll check it out.
Okay,
So it's not on for a week, you get full of water and,
That's what I have.
okay, yeah.
Once a bicycle.
That's the other thing I was gonna bring up, with streets is that new cement over by Casey's on a apron, that alley apron where some kid rode his bike right through there, it's 2.5 inches deep with a tire track right through that cement. And
Who did the work, who did the cement work?
Tim.
Because it wasn't, I mean, it was coned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was flagged on, so I mean, then I could see how,
the kid probably thought it was an obstacle course for the cones.
so.
So he's gonna have to tear that entire thing out again. Redo it. It's just, yeah. It's too bad. Okay, so,
Comment on that, does the city require the contractors fence off an area? I know everything we've done has had to be fenced, locked, protected, within a reasonable, a couple cones doesn't seem reasonable.
well, there were 6 cones actually.
The cones were.
They're a foot tall. Yeah, they're a foot tall.
Well, they were like.
I, 6 inches to me is a long way. But anyhow, it was marked, maybe not well enough, but do we require it? No.
I think next time it does, it will.
Well, it's on our dime, it's, I don't know how we're gonna work that, it's gonna tear it up, but it's not his fault. It's not, unless we say it's his fault now, but I don't know, I think we're gonna be probably seeing a bill for that. Okay.
And cement to start the new pile.
What's that?
And cement to start the new pile.
Yeah, exactly. Finance busing,
Nothing at this time.
police, fire,
Under the fire department, I received a report from Stan during the months of August up through where we are in September. So far, we've had 5 motor vehicle crashes, 1 structure fire false alarm, which is always a good thing, I guess. One automatic aid structure fire in Beulah, 2 wildland type fires. There were some large round bales that had started on fire. And 1 rescue call to assist the ambulance at Hazen Bay. So he says, other than that, relatively quiet. Under the forestry, we have a trip up to Fargo this upcoming weekend to receive a reward for the city of Hazen for being a tree city. So that will be occurring over the course of the weekend. So John Dahl and myself are going up there to accept that on behalf of the city.
Make sure you smile for the camera.
Okay. Thank you. Buster, HCD?
I'll give you a little update on that.
Or you wanna wait till?
Well, yeah, we could do that.
You want to switch down?
Let's do both at the same
Okay,
time.
all right. I'll just report briefly on the crushed pile out there. We have 22,456 ton sitting out there. And that is, if we were to sell it or to use it for whatever, at $25 a ton, we've got $500,000 worth of product out there. So, talked to Ronnie today about getting an estimate from Dakota Fence to put up a 5-foot chain link around that. We don't want that pile walking away. And I think if it's 10 or 20,000 or whatever it is, I have no idea. I think it's well worth our investment to put something decent up. We talked about a snow fence or something that's not as secure, but I think we should probably do something a little better. It's going to pay for itself, obviously, over time. So.
Clearly, we said that we were going to use a portion of this product for street repairs, different activities and stuff around the city. Were we also making that then available to private citizens at a rate?
I think it's very much accessible to our community for a rate. And that's why, Ronnie and his guys already have a pile across from this by the city shop there. So it's easy to get to load people if they want to buy that product.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that was kind of our intent. I don't know what kind of dent you made in it when you haul out to the cemetery. Not much, no. But we're the last estimate we had from Moore on projected what they might need for a street project. That was $280,000 worth of class 5 if we were to purchase it. So it's a lot there. And then our alleys need work too.
We had also talked about the stabilized base
Yeah.
for those, so,
Yeah.
we'll just have to see how that works out in
Sure.
terms of actual savings, but yeah.
Yeah. It will be available. So by the next meeting, we should have an estimate from Dakota Fence on that. All right, let's go down to 9A. Yep.
Do you guys want to set a price if there are some that?
Oh.
There's been a million calls already.
Have there? Okay. I think 25 dealer or other places are selling class 5 for 20 to 22. 25 is a pretty fair price, I think. I'm not sure.
He told me, Bill was selling this crushed concrete with no asphalt in it for
20.
20.
Okay. I think 25 is fair, unless somebody else wants to make it higher or lower. I think it's a good round number to work with.
We need a motion on that?
Yeah, it would be best.
All right.
Make a motion that we set the price at $25 a ton for our combination of concrete and asphalt mix out there.
Okay, we have a motion by Pillar. Second by Stern. Discussion. And we'll do a roll call in too.
Pillar.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Motion carried. Thank you. 9A, property lease purchase proposal by Steve Gowan. Shannon, you want to?
Basically, it was the information he presented in writing to you guys, if you wanted to take action, otherwise he said he would be available for your meeting on October 2nd. He's proposing to lease or purchase 2 separate properties that the city now owns.
I'm not interested in selling any of our land at this time. I'm not sure what a lease would look like. I don't know if anybody looked at this any closer or deeper than I did, but the stuff up north of the cemetery is about an acre. And it's right off that north cemetery road on the north side of it and on the west side of the highway.
Has that been open for public comment or selling city property?
I don't know what the appropriate, if it has to be put up for bid or not.
Under our ordinance, we do have to advertise it for sale.
Okay. And how,
If we think that's kind of value, well, real property has, or land has to be advertised for sale. Real property under $2,500 request proposals or get bids from people. But this is real property, so it would have to be advertised.
okay. And a lease,
For a lease.
how about a lease, yeah?
I'm gonna defer to Mark on that one.
I think depending on the duration of the lease, I think the correct response, I think, would be to put it out. Otherwise, if you're talking a 2 or 3 year lease, probably not such a big deal. 30-year lease, I think you could run into some issues. I think the best practice would be to put it out for public comment at a minimum.
Okay. I say we table this, and I'd like to hear what Mr. Gowan's plans are more for it. And if he was to lease it, how long he would want
You want me to prepare an advertisement for it right away, for you to review at the next meeting as well?
it. It can't hurt. Casey?
Well, I guess the only area that I'd maybe be interested in leasing is like that dike area, if he's gonna improve that into a alley, right, at his expense.
It'd be totally his,
That's the way it sounds.
totally his expense, but I'd also wanna talk to all the neighbors that live on the west side of that dike too.
Well, yeah, I think that's what, he had said something about the current, easements, or no, like leases or something, would be, I know there's one, Dewey,
Awesome.
yeah, he's kind of got some kind of easement like with us on
He was
that.
given an ingress easement.
Yeah.
A portion of it, yeah.
And the way that I read that, I mean, that shouldn't really affect him because it's gonna be a city or a public alleyway, so.
Yeah, if it was improved, we're not spending any money on that at all. You'd have to have engineered and, yeah. Okay. Anybody want anything more with this, or wait until we hear from him? Okay. All right, if you want to let him know, Marty, okay. 10A, proposed hotel investors name change. Lester?
Okay. So you may recall that a couple of years ago, the commission at that time approved the Renaissance Zone for Hazen Hotel Investors LLC. And being that we are now dealing with a new LLC, we would have to have the record show the proper name on that Renaissance Zone. And so basically what it is a name change is what we'd be looking at. And the name would be the Great State, it's Great State, not the, but Great State Hazen Hotel.
Instead of Grand State.
No, it's Great.
Okay.
It's Great.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, instead of the Hazen Hotel, it's Great State Hazen Hotel Investors LLC. And so basically what
my board, which is the Renaissance Zone Board, and that's part of what you see on the cover sheet that I gave you, recommended that to you folks that we keep the same ratio that we had before, which was basically 2 year, a full 100% abatement, and then 75, 50, and 25. So none of that changed, so that would remain the same. So I guess if you have questions, any on that part of it, I did put together some other information for you that I just clipped in there in terms of what would happen, based on some of the occupancy. If we get to that point, the amount of dollars that would come back to the city based on those occupancy rates. So over the long haul, you definitely would see your dollars return to the city and many, many times over. So, any questions on that part? Yes.
So then I guess like, what's the reason then on the like name change? Is it
Because
a different kind of group of investors?
Yes. What we ended up working with a new developer for one thing, plus new investors. We had to start everything from the get-go. Did all of the filing, had to do a new filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, all of those things. Had to, there was a ton of work that has gone into, and we have everything in place. And right now, the last hurdle is we're waiting for to hear from the USDA on the loan package. And we're hoping that we're going to hear about that before the end of the month, because that's the end of the fiscal year for the government. So we're hoping by the end of the month. And what we're hoping, of course, is that it would be positive. It'll be a positive result. So, and if it is, then things could start moving yet this fall, possibly. So I won't, until we know for certain, I just as soon not say too much about it, but other than the fact that it's looking good. Okay, so
we would need a motion to reapprove this Renaissance Zone under the name of the Great Stay application.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Hack. Second, discussion. Roll call.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Hiller.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Obenauer.
Aye, motion carried. Thank you, Buster.
can I give you a little update on the Pioneer?
Yep.
Okay, things are moving pretty good over there now. They're gonna finish up the siding this week. The siders are gonna stay there all this week. I see it was stated today, they're gonna start the civil work on the pavement and parking and whatever that's going through there. Everything, most everything in the interior in terms of all the painting is done, the sheetrocking, that's all done. Some of the cabinetry, most of the cabinetry is in already, okay? Things that are left, of course, there's going to be flooring that has to get done yet, and appliances, and some of those things. Now, what we have done in anticipation of we thought maybe we could do the turnover, the sign off, where it would actually go to the Housing Authority on the 1st of October, but we're looking at maybe the 15th that will happen. And we have scheduled a grand opening for the 26th of October. So you might want to jot that date down, and it's on a Thursday, and it's going to be scheduled for 10:30 in the morning over there. So I've been working with one of the gals who's the media representative from Housing and Finance, and so hopefully things will work well. We've Ritterath Sales and Management, Ritterath Sales, will be the management agency, and they're also going to be subcontracting with HJL, which will do the, HJL is the Mercer County group that does the Mercer County. And they'll be doing the qualification pieces with the tenants. My list that I was keeping has been turned over to them. So hopefully in fact, I know there's been a couple of phone calls that have been made already for those folks, so hopefully it'll be positive and we'll get that baby filled. Now, the one other thing that I would say is that my HCD board, we are going to pick a night in probably maybe the first week in October, where we're going to take them through there. And once my president and I decide on when that is, we'll send an invitation to you folks as well. So if you want to come at that time, also, I'm not sure if you need to, if everybody comes with almost have to declare it as a meeting or whatever. But whatever, yeah. But I'll let you know. It's really starting to look nice. They took some of the ladies from City Hall here who helped pick out some of the decoration or the colors, the color schemes. We went over there yesterday, or not yesterday, but the other day. And there were a lot of wows when they walked in there, so I think it's gonna be really.
When are they gonna start on the alley and
I
tear
don't-
all those weeds and want us to bring that over?
I'm not sure yet. I didn't have a chance to talk to Daryl today, but I'm guessing that, I know there's some landscaping that needs to be done, and I think on that side, yeah, some of that curb has gotta come off
Yeah.
and all that stuff, so
Okay.
maybe he'll be in tomorrow.
It's looking great.
Any other questions? Anything for me? Okay.
Any update on the Commerce Center?
No.
Alright.
Other than, well, I will, there's probably gonna be 2 coffee shops down in that corner of town. I don't know. I'll call them the coffee wars, but JF Harris putting in a little bistro or whatever, however you wanna call it, coffee place. And then I had talked with the one of the managers at Mandy Machinery, and they're planning to do something also.
In their building?
Yes, down in the southwest corner. And for those of you who have been in that building, you realize,
Yeah.
remember how big it's big. Yeah, so
They
it'll
do.
be interesting. They have and more power to those folks. I think it's great. Yeah. So okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
10B, Police Department Staffing, Mr. Pillar.
Okay, it was made public that our current chief had put in his retirement for the end of the year. And after some discernment and consideration, I met with Sergeant Jim Wolf and gave him the offer to replace our chief of police. So we will make that transition at the time in which we have our retirement. At this point in time, we're not going to fill the position of sergeant, and then we will be posting for an additional police officer within the city of Hazen. So we reviewed the posting for the job description, and we'll be getting that out shortly.
Do we need to accept that?
We should accept his letter of intent to resign.
Okay.
And then you'll do a formal appointment of the chief, because that's one of your appointed positions once that time comes.
Okay.
You can wait until closer to that time.
Okay.
So,
All right.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the letter of resignation.
Motion by Pillar,
Second.
second by Hack. Discussion. Roll call.
Pillar.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Over.
Aye. Motion carried. All right, thank you, Dan. 11A, DOT Transit Section for year 2018 grant contract.
They finally sent out the contracts for the DOT transit program grants for fiscal year 2018 through June 30th of 2018. Our award is $82,210. Need your approval to submit these along with the appropriate appendixes so we can proceed with the grant.
Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Motion by Wolf,
Second.
second by Stern. Discussion? Roll call.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Pillar.
Aye.
Over.
Motion carried. All right, 11B, West River Telephone Fiber Update. Monty?
Okay, West River cut the city hall and the bus facility over to fiber. We're now, as we had discussed earlier, they were talking about doing a VLAN where we're connected with the bus barn and we have the ability to connect with the shop if we want to. The VLAN option was $49, gave us a 10-10 speed. If we go with the WAN option as they presented it now, we can get to 100, the speed up to 100 and 100 for $20 more per month for both facilities. It'd be $20 each for the city hall and the bus facility. With the surveillance and wanting to add some more surveillance in, I guess I would recommend that we go with the faster speed or we'll always be having issues. And then I guess it's up to you guys. We can, if we wish, just run a cable from the bus barn to the shop if we want internet in there, or we can add a WAN service to them as well. I visited with Ron just a little bit, whether we need internet in there right now. As we're doing some of these learning management classes, at times it would be nice, but how long is a computer gonna last in the shop? Or do we just have them keep coming in here to do those online classes?
Let's find out a better idea.
So I guess it's a matter of, do we want to just do the city hall and the bus facility at this time? We can always add network into the shop at a later time.
I think that's a try. Yeah. And then, so we said which facilities and then at which speed, Monty, you're asking?
Well, I think we should just start at the 100.
Yeah.
If that proves to be a problem, we can always increase it at any time just by calling them, basically.
Okay. All right. Okay, we need a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion to do the 100 Mbps and then the two facilities.
Yep, city hall
Okay.
plus.
All right, we have a motion by Pillar
Second.
and a second by Hack. Discussion. Unless you guys have a burning issue to have something at the shop right away, or?
Well, I don't think so, but if they're in the area, to just run a line there, so down the road, if we need it, it's there.
So is that an option too, running the line and not activating it, or?
Yeah.
just-
Actually, my discussions with Aaron at West River were that we would just trench the line in ourselves from one
Oh,
building
sure.
to the other, just have to put a conduit that they could slide the line through.
Okay, instead of having something overhead.
Is that their recommendation to do that versus line of sight? Equipment?
They really didn't care. They said that would be the best option as far as feasibility for us, no
Okay.
expense, yeah.
Alright.
I know where we can get a trencher pretty quick and easy.
Okay. And we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Pillar. Aye. Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Over.
All right, motion carried. Approval of bills. Anything?
Couple new ones I laid on the desk for you.
That unsafe building home inspection that was initiated by us, the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanna talk about that a little, Shannon, that one that we got the report back on?
Yeah, he did basically say that it's unsafe, which is what we wanted. We had a call and see where we go from here. Contact the homeowner and start following.
Thank you.
Make a motion, we accept the bills as presented.
Motion by Pillar to accept the bills as presented. Second by Hack. Discussion. Roll call.
Stellar.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried and meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Thanks for being here, Mark.